Couples therapy is a scam and a giant waste of your money. It's euros. It's basically monopoly money, right? And in this video, I'm gonna show you 3 ways that going to see a couples therapist when your relationship is falling apart is a guaranteed path toward divorce and separation. And at the very end of the video, I'm gonna show you a different approach that works 2.5 times better to save a marriage than couples therapy based on hundreds of clients that I've worked with. You see, your relationship with your partner is this elegant and graceful dance. Well, at least it's supposed to be. However, when I would sit down with couples for the first time in our sessions, we would jump right into the problems. So Kylie, tell me your side of things first. Okay, Greg, now tell me how you feel about that. No, Kylie, you can't feel like Greg is an idiot. Thinking that is a thought, it's not really a feeling. This constant back and forth made me feel like I was a referee in the middle of the couple, just going back and forth, trying to solve their problems. And I was thinking to myself, why are we focusing on the problem so much? It's like their freaking foundation of their house is falling apart. And we're trying to say, oh, what color should we paint it? That's what we're arguing over. We need to fix the foundation first by not focusing on the problems, but rather the solutions. The first reason why relationships don't work is what I call temporal passivity. I want you to imagine that your child, your favorite child, everyone has a favorite, they have a terminal illness and you only have this much time to save their life. Now, you knew this illness was treatable, so you go out seeking top specialists in the world and you find one. And you get on the phone with the specialist and they say, come see me next week. And you're like, okay, but we're falling, fine, okay, I'll come see you next week. So you speak with this doctor and the first meeting you have with that specialist, they open up your child's wound and they see inside and they're diagnosing everything. And they say, yep, yeah, your child's gonna die in a few weeks. Okay, spend 50 minutes, come see me next week. Really? That's it? Like my child's gonna die and you didn't even give any treatment plan or medicine or anything? That never sat right with me. And it's exactly how I felt with these couples. They would come in, we'd say, okay, let me talk about your past with your boyfriends and your marriages and your family growing up. Okay, let me talk about your past. Okay, cool. All right, see you guys next week. And then we delve a little bit deeper each week. And there was 7 days of no communication, no support, no help. And they would come back and they'd be like, cool, even if I did help them in that 1 hour or 50 minutes, therapist hour, I'm not there with them in their ear, helping them. They need skills and constant reassurance and so much help in an hour a day to save their life. It just wasn't enough. The third problem with therapy and the model why it doesn't work really caught me up. I remember sitting with my first couple in graduate school and I was in this small little room with a 2-way mirror. On the other side was all the students from the class and my professor watching me. I felt really anxious, but I remember the husband was like, they were talking about their arguments. And the husband looked at me and says, Josh, like, can you give me steps or a plan on what I should do during that process when I'm fighting with her? And one voice said, Diego, I got you, man. Like step 1, take a deep breath in your nose, out your mouth. Step 2, notice how she is feeling. Get out of your own head. Recognize her emotion. Step 3, say you feel this emotion for that reason and continue that process until she calms down. And then the final step is to reflect how you feel and say what you need from a joint position. I guarantee if you follow those 5 steps, not only will the arguments decrease, but you guys will get better at communicating, you'll understand each other's boundaries better, you'll have better self-esteem. That's the process. And then there was a second voice and it said, Josh, you can't give advice. You're supposed to help him process his emotions. Don't tell him what to do. That assumes you know best. And that was my professor's voice. It was drilled into my head that therapists don't give advice. They would take this passive approach, but I knew it worked for me in my relationship, so why couldn't I tell him the same? This led to massive anger and frustration because I knew how to help these people. I knew how to guide them towards a better relationship because it worked with me. It worked with other people that I gave my friends exact advice, but somehow in therapy, I couldn't give that advice. I had to let them find it themselves. I knew that wasn't the best way. And it wasn't until seeing this clip with Chris Williamson and this therapist and how men process information and towards goals versus how women process in communication with emotions.
Most men avoid therapy because most therapy approaches are not designed to help the male brain deal with pain or find solutions. That makes men believe therapy is worthless. Male depression is usually based on feeling helpless, powerless, and unable to affect one's life or environment. Therapy models focus on helping men feel heard and loved instead of restoring their sense of personal power. Men need solutions, not just feelings.
Absolutely. And we are churning out here in the United States an overwhelming number of therapists who do not have the skills that they need or the experience experience that they need to provide lasting solutions that will undiagnose you in the long term. When you get a man into that system, men would rather kill themselves than sit there and say, I am disabled. I must have medical assistance for the rest of my life. And all I can do is sit here and talk about my feelings endlessly for the next 10 years while paying $10,000 for the privilege. Men are looking for solutions, and they're looking for guidance in how to apply those solutions. When you give them those things, men will do just about anything for you.
See, as men, to move forward in our life, you need a strategy. You need a plan. Just tell you what to do, cut through all the fluff and the BS, and just say, Josh, like, this is it, man. This is steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If I follow this, I will learn the skill to get her back. That's what's missing in therapy. Look, couples therapy can work for some couples, but most often it's when the wife is on board and the husband's on board. And most guys that come to watch these videos, their wife is out. She wants to be done and over with. And as much as it's cool to process your emotions, and it's an important skill to have, you need an action plan. You need someone to not focus on the problems first, to create solutions for you, and you don't have the time to do it. That's why my program addresses all three of those concerns that couples therapy lacks. We give you a direct game plan, proven game plan with hundreds of clients at this point, that exact system that they use to win their wife back. It doesn't involve the wife to be involved. And most importantly, time is not on your side. So this is the best, most efficient, fastest way to win her back. If you want the opportunity to join that program to get the results that you need to save your marriage, click the link down below.